Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Golden Nuggets podcast. My name is Naz and Ame, as usual, our main host. And today we have an individual who have exited a business at the age of 30 years old.
Oh,
guys.
nice.
And he is the head of business of Social Chat. We present Joshua Mong. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thank you so much. I don't know how to introduce myself, but yeah, good to be here and thanks for inviting.
Okay, so for our listeners who don't know you, can you share a bit more about who is Joshua Mok?
Should I start from all the way from the beginning or
Why not?
I mean, it's going to be a long story, but let's just try to summarize it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I am a Malaysian. Yeah, I'm still a Malaysian right now. I moved to Singapore probably about 7 years ago.
Okay.
I started everything as a chemical engineer. I know out there a lot of people are saying, how do you even get from an engineer to become, doing what I'm doing right now? But apparently a lot of things happen in between the journey, which I suppose we are going to share a lot more about that laterward. So right now I help Social Jab to kind of get more sales, scale the company, and of course, I've also been helping some other businesses to guide them with the sales framework and hopefully help them to close deals better and of course scale their company faster. That's what I'm doing right now.
Nice. Okay, so chemical engineering, right? That was
Yes.
what you studied back then.
That was what I studied back then because I was too naive.
Okay.
Everyone is saying, if you let's say, I mean, it's Asian kind of culture.
Yeah.
I was being raised with that mindset, thinking that let's say you want to make big money, you've got only a few options, right? Doctor, lawyer, engineer,
Yes.
accountant, and whatnot. I'm bad at math, so accountant is definitely out of it.
Okay.
But I didn't realize that, starting an engineer also requires a lot of
Maths,
math.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's why I say I was naive, right? So I went there. I wouldn't say I made it. I graduate with a decent grade, I would say, simply because I give the credits to my teammate.
Okay.
Like my schoolmate, my whatever mate.
Let me guess, during the group work, they do most of the jobs.
They do most of the job.
Okay.
Apart from that, I don't know whether I should say this. Definitely, whoever who are listening to this, if let's say you're going through the university, don't learn. I'm just saying that I got a lot of help
Okay.
during my exam.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's how I eventually graduated.
Wait, you get a lot of help during the exam.
During the exam. So
Wow.
a normal term, we just call it cheating, I guess. Yeah. But basically, they're the one that helped me a lot.
Okay.
I'm not a smart student, but I figured out a lot of different way to get things done.
That's a
Okay.
skill.
Yeah, yes. If you really put it in this way, it's a skill right now. Yeah.
It's a skill, especially for entrepreneur. But chemical engineering, because of all the different types of engineers out there, why chemical engineering?
Okay, that was by mistake, I guess.
Okay.
I didn't plan to study chemical engineer, right?
Okay.
It's just that in Malaysia, we call it Form 6. That's like when you are at, I think probably
Taking the
18 years old.
SPM thing.
After SPM, right?
After, okay.
Then you got few choices. You can go to a local university. You can go to private, or the other one it's more economical, which is for people like myself who don't know what I want, right? Then
Okay.
I'll just get STPM.
Okay.
Yeah. So STPM, I realized that I was pretty good at chemistry. So I thought that chemistry it's more or less the same as chemical engineering. So that's how I ventured into this. I applied most of my application was chemistry.
Yeah.
Chemis, they call it, right? But at the end of the day, for some reason, I got selected as a chemical engineer. I thought it's the same. So I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I enrolled into that, quickly realized that it wasn't what I want.
Yeah. I mean, the three of us were engineers. I mean, we studied engineering. I think we never were engineers, right?
No.
Yeah, we never were engineers. But
Okay.
there's the thing. There's a problem with the landscape that we were in at that point of time. Like, we have an engineering diploma or degree, but then it was difficult to get a job. What about for you? Like, was that the case when you graduated?
No, actually, before I graduated, right, we went through we called it like an internship.
Okay.
So during the internship, I was doing pretty okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm not good at, really studying exam and all these things, but I'm good at communicating to people.
Okay.
And one thing we all have to realize is that the moment you step out from university, right, it's really nothing to do with your academic anymore. It's just how you will be able to socialize, how you'll be able to communicate with people. So I'm pretty good at it. So right after I finished my intern, and on the last day itself, I already got a job offer.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it wasn't that difficult. But there was a
Okay.
job offered in Malaysia.
And
But,
that is by the same company that you were interning in lah. Okay, nice.
But after that, I realized, I want to make way more money,
Yeah.
right? But working in Malaysia is like you get a not that high of a salary.
Okay.
So why not? I mean, I'm still young, right? Why not I just move to Singapore for only one reason, ma? It's a 3.28 times
Yes,
higher.
of course, yeah. It makes financial sense lah at the point of time. Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
because I wasn't being raised in a wealthy family, right? I don't think we are even a middle income family.
okay.
So we're like pretty
Like been living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So I recall when I was young, right? Because buying a car in Singapore is expensive, right?
Yes.
Considering the fact that you have to factor in all this CO or whatever,
Yeah,
COE.
yeah.
But in Malaysia, it wasn't the case. Oh,
Yeah.
like you want to buy a car, like 30 over thousand ringgit, you can probably get one already.
Yeah.
But we were in that situation that when I was young, right? We can't even really pay for that car itself.
Okay.
So we have a motorbike. So think about it, right? Every single morning, I mean, my mom will have to fetch me because I'm the only boy. I've got one elder sister and one younger sister. So she have to fetch me to the school first, even before the security guard was there. It was like 5 a.m. something. The school opens at 7:30.
So
I've been
early.
there. Yeah, because from my house to my school, it would take roughly about 12 kilometer one way. So two ways already like 24 kilometers, right? So she had to take me, then go back, take my elder sis, then go back again, take my younger sis. That's how we started. But things started to get better. But it wasn't because of my mom, have to sacrifice most of her energy trying to work on 2 shifts just to get a little bit more money. Yeah, so I've been through that, and I certainly don't want to experience that anymore when I was, studying, eventually get a job. I just want to make a lot more money.
Was your mom a single parent?
No, she was not. Like I have a dad as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that my mom was working as a nurse,
Okay.
and then my dad was a welder.
Okay.
So I mean, welder, we all know it's just like a labor kind of works, right? It doesn't require a lot of skills, but it requires a lot of energy and mental energy and all these things.
Yep.
It's a tough job, I would say, but it doesn't pay as well. Yeah, same goes to nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, they have been so great, kind, and whatnot, trying to serve the society, but unfortunately, the pay just wasn't up to par, I would say.
Yeah. Because from my understanding, because I have a lot of ex-colleagues who were from Malaysia, who were nurses from Malaysia, and they were telling me like, they were just earning like 2.5 to 3,000 ringgit per month over there. So I feel their pain because I mean like yes, sometimes for us Singaporeans we do go to JB to buy our groceries and stuff and whatnot, right? But the thing is, sometimes when I look at the prices there, I was thinking like if I'm earning 2,000, 3,000 ringgit per month, I cannot be affording these things,
Yeah.
Like I think like yesterday I ordered something from Grab Food. Like the total bill was like 88 ringgit. Of course for us it's not bad lah, right? But I was thinking like, what about those who are really earning like 2,000, 3,000 ringgit?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You see, a lot of people, when they don't really understand, there were surely questions like, why do I have to even come to Singapore to make a living, right? Why can't I just stay in Malaysia? But let's just do a comparison here, right? If you think about this, right? Let's say you are making let's say just $3,000 in Singapore dollar, right? If let's say you are buying a Starbucks, one Starbucks probably costs you less than $10,
Yes.
right? Maybe 8 something, 9 something without whatever top up lah. That's like less than $10.
Yeah.
But if let's say you are working in Malaysia, you are same thing. You are making about 3K ringgit, right?
Yeah.
One Starbucks itself, one cup of it will cost you like 20 over
Yes.
20 over
Ringgit.
ringgit.
Yeah.
That's a lot if you compare the ratio.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but I don't know. That's why I guess that's the reason why I moved here.
Which part of Malaysia were you from?
I was from Malacca.
Oh,
Malacca.
Malacca.
Yeah, good food over there, good
Yeah.
vibe,
Of course.
good people
Yeah.
like myself, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So, like, because people say that in JB things are expensive, prices are overinflated because of how close they are with Singapore, right? But what about Malacca? Like, is that the case? Do you see like highly inflated prices for the normal things or the normal shops that you go to?
I think I wouldn't really be in a position to talk about that, right? Because you see, when I moved to Singapore, when I was literally just graduate from my university,
okay.
so I didn't
So
really
about
know
20
about
years
all these
old.
things. Yeah. So back then, it was heavily subsidized by my parents. I
Okay,
wasn't the one
okay.
that's paying all these things. But what I realized, right, about the inflation is when, 2 years or 2.5 years, we're locked in Singapore during COVID periods, right? We cannot go back, ma.
Yes.
So I've been here for like 2.5 years. After the borders open up, I go back, and there's a time that, me and my wife, and together with my mother, we just want to have a meal. Then we go to the food court. That's the time that we realize all these foods, even the chicken rice, will cost us like 15 ringgit. I'm like, that's crazy if you think about it, right? 15 ringgit for one chicken rice, and yet they kind of like smash the chicken into like so thin and then chop it into more pieces. That kind of thing. Like that's the moment that I realized everything is so expensive now, including Malacca. Yeah.
Now that you've lived in Singapore for 10 years, over 10 years?
Roughly about 7 years, I guess.
About 7 years. Like, would you still or do you think like you will have a better quality of life back in Malaysia, or do you think it's better here? Do you think like us Singaporeans, we complain too much and we take everything for granted also?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure if you're trying to set a trap for me.
I'm not. But that's the fact of the matter, right? Like people, sometimes I feel people here gets a little bit too like take things for granted, lah. You know? Yeah.
I guess it depends on the people, right? Generally speaking, if the more cab that you take, the more you realize a lot of taxi driver actually love to complain about whatever thing is happening in Singapore.
Yep.
So for me, when you're coming from Malaysia, you move to Singapore, I think the first thing that I can really like realize is the safetyness. Safeness or safetyness? My English wasn't that good, but it's really safe here in Singapore, right? Imagine like my younger sister or my elder sister, they are like working as a nurse. So sometimes you finish up your afternoon shift, by the time you try to go back home, it's already night, right? They can still work on the street itself without any issue. But I doubt people will do that when they are in Malacca or JB. It's dangerous. Yeah.
But I thought it's like a myth. Like it's say Malacca or JB is dangerous or unsafe. It's still something that is happening right now.
I'm not sure about Malacca and JB.
Like I know KL is quite bad.
Yes.
There's a lot of notorious.
I've been working in Klang area for probably about like 3 months or 4 months.
Okay.
And I saw like, what do you call that? Like snatch a bag or whatnot. Yeah, it's like 2 times that I saw it with my real eyes. Like I'm literally happening in front of me. So within 3 months, if you're like seeing 2 cases, I think they give you an idea of what's happening over there.
Wow. Right in front of you. I mean, what time was that?
It was nighttime because I was an engineer back then in a production house, right? So, I mean, not production house, but a factory. We're doing a glove. So after that, we came out. It was literally happening right in front of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What you've shared with us is something that we rarely hear, you know, because I think a lot of our guests are also like Singaporeans, most of them. Maybe some from overseas, but I think Malaysian haven't, huh?
Yeah, Briggs is Malaysian.
Oh yeah, but Briggs, he haven't shared about that part of the story. Yeah. But at the same time, Briggs is from Penang. Penang is, as what a lot of people tell me also, is much more safer and it's kind of close to how Singapore is, right? Is that the case?
I actually don't know. I mean, I think I've been to Penang like once in my entire life. Yeah. I didn't really visit over there.
Okay. But eventually, when you come to Singapore, do you still go to a chemical engineering kind of job, or do you see other things? Because I've seen a lot of my Malaysian friends, they actually come here with a different degree or diploma, but work in a different sector as a whole.
Industry, yeah.
No, in my case, right, I started as an application engineer. It's not entirely chemical engineer, but somehow as an application engineer, you got to know a little bit about how the things work, how the design and whatnot, right? Then after that, because I realized that I can talk pretty okay, right? That's the time I realized, why not I be, sales and application engineer. So for those who are not familiar with what is sales and application engineer, I usually say this. Sales and application engineer, essentially it means an engineer who can sell something, or a salesperson who know a little bit about engineering stuff. Okay. So it happens to be, I'm okay at kind of both things. That's why I go into sales and application engineer. But what we do, definitely it's more towards, designing something. And then at the end of the day, you have to sell the solutions. Yeah.
Okay. And don't mind me asking, how much was the salary at that point in time?
When I first came to Singapore, I think it's less than 3K.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not
3K.
bad.
That was not bad, really. Yeah. I mean, for that time, making 3.1K, I mean, I'm super satisfied about it. Lah.
Yeah, if convert, it's like 10K.
Yeah, because that time we don't really have a plan to kind of, like settle down in Singapore. So all my mind, whatever I'm thinking is just 3K times 3.3, okay, close to 10K. That's why I'm super happy about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Reason why I asked is because my very first job, I shared this with a lot of people. After I finished my NS, I sent out like over 100 resumes. I only got one response that is kind of related to engineering, and it's an engineering sales job. But the basic that they paid me was $900. They wanted to pay me was $900.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
But of course, the reason is because they will be giving commissions.
Oh, yeah. For mine, I don't have any commissions. Yeah,
So it's
just,
interesting that yours no commission, but still around 3K, because like nowadays, I think it's very difficult to get such jobs, right? Because when it's sales driven, they will tend to really be heavy on commissions.
Yeah.
Usually that's my observation.
Yeah, but we also have to factor it in, right? Selling a direct-to-consumer product, selling services and all this, right? I would say the sales cycle is rather short. It could take you like 1 month or even less than 1 month to close a deal, and then you collect the money already. But if let's say you're in the engineering industry, chances are whatever design that you do, right, the design phase will take you about 3, 4, 5 months already. Then you want to negotiate a contract here and there, it takes you another 5 months. By the time you want to collect the invoice or send the invoice, right, it will take you like 1 year. I cannot rely on just the commissions and wait for 1 whole year for that, right?
Yeah,
I'll probably I probably don't have the money to buy the food.
Right.
And how long were you in that job at that point of time?
I think it was probably 2 years. You mean the job in Singapore, right?
Yes, correct.
Probably about 2 years.
And that was before you started your first business.
Yes, that was way before I started my business. Yeah.
So in that 2 years, what was the like trigger point or the turning point where you decided like, hey, I think this is still not enough. I want to do something more for myself?
Okay, you see, this is what I usually say, right? I didn't really share this in front of a camera, but I shared through some of the LinkedIn posts, right?
Okay.
I think what really made me doing all these different things, it's not by inspirations. What I think is usually people take actions because of 2 things, right? It's either they go through and like they experience some kind of inspirations that they want to be somebody else, then they go and take actions. The other one is they go through a lot of pain. So I'm not the first one, so I'm the second one.
Okay.
Right? It's like at one point of time when I was working on a job, COVID happened.
Okay.
I think it was probably 2020 or 2021. I can't really recall that. So there was a time when, we don't really have the vaccines and all these things, right?
Yeah.
So I'm afraid. A bit kiasi, a bit kiasu and kiasi. So
okay.
I'm afraid. And the thing is that my boss actually asked me to visit to, I think it was Jurong Island area.
Okay.
So I was being forced to that. Then I'm like, hey, I just want to voice out my concern, man. I don't want to go there simply because we don't have vaccine. We don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like people in China, there's like a lot of people are dying because of this COVID-19 kind of thing, right? And I'm like, I don't want to be there. Can we just do a Zoom call? Anyway, I'm not like a tech guy over there. I go there, I'm like supervising, advising this and that. I'm not the one really go down and, like do the spana thing and whatnot. So I'm like, I can do it via Zoom. Then one thing that my boss talked to me, which I will never forget about that, he said that, Joshua, you are an employee, right? Then I'm like, yes, I know. So the next thing he said is like, it's either you do it my way or you leave the company.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there was like, I don't have a choice because back in that time I was holding an employment pass. So if let's say he really kicked me out and removed my employment pass, I cannot stay in Singapore.
Yeah.
But my wife is here, so I cannot fight back. Now I'm like, okay, let's do it then. I got no choice.
Yeah.
So after that, I visited there. It was 12th of February because I remember that because the next 2 days have Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So on 12th of February, I visited there and I happened to meet up with, I take a cab over there. I didn't know that the cab driver was positive.
Okay.
I really didn't know that.
Alamak.
Yeah, it's terrible, right? I've been there, come back, everything looks okay. So it was until February 14, right on the time itself, right?
Yeah.
Valentine's. And then I received a call from, I think it's MOH. MOH, right? You guys call it Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
Yeah, MOH give me a call and say that I was contacted with a positive guy. I mean, positive, the COVID-19 guy. And I'm like, what? I say, I wore a mask, so I'm fine, it should be fine. Then he say, I don't care, right now you go back to your home, quarantine yourself. Then I'm like, I've rented a little small room in Singapore.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to quarantine myself, right? Then I'm like, okay, no, that's fine. If MOH asks for that, I'm like, let's just do it. I go back home, I cancel all the reservations. And I bought a bouquet of flowers for my wife, but I didn't really go and take it because I wasn't in the mood anymore.
Yeah.
I went back home and I talked to my wife. Then both of us were in shock. Like, what's the next step? I didn't even know what to do, right? Then everything was just settled down. The next day morning, the doorbell rang, right? 5 Cisco member, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, wearing full sets of white PPE arrived at the doorstep. And they say that, Joshua, I'll give you 20 minutes, pack all your stuff, we go.
Go where?
Exactly. I asked the same questions. Go where?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, you don't have to know. Follow us. I'm like, okay, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I talked to my wife. She was worried, and I even more worried about that, right? I didn't know where am I heading to. Then he just say, okay, 20 minutes, I pack whatever I can. I go. Then when you are going down, right, they're like escorting you to a van itself, and every neighboring country is looking at me like I did some kind of crime and whatnot. So I hop on a van, ask me to sign some paperwork. Then I still ask them, where am I heading to? He said, you don't have to know. So
Do you bring your phone?
I bring my phone.
Okay.
I bring my phone. But imagine you were sitting on a car. I was like moving here and there trying to... Because
Fidgeting,
I don't feel easy, right? I just move around. Then the guy was like, sit properly. Looking at the back mirror, like, sit properly. I'm like, okay, no, let's do it this way then.
So stern.
Yeah. So I arrived at I still remember the area is called Home Team NS. Yeah, I don't know what's that, but apparently it's maybe related to NS. It's at Sembawang, right? The shipyard over there. So I was there. The room was small. Like, the room was really small. With the window, it's all completely welded.
Yeah.
Probably they're afraid that people would just jump out or what. But it was a mentally torture. You think about it,
Like jail.
because it's not. Well,
Kind of.
it's kind of like a jail kind of thing. It's one small toilet, one small room, window completely welded. The door itself you cannot open fully. Yeah, think about it. When you cannot open fully, how are they going to pass you the food? They're going to leave it on the table out there. Then whatever you want to take the food, right? You go open up the door, then you take your hand like this. You go and take the food in. Every single 7 a.m., 1 p.m., 7 p.m., they give you a call, ask you to check your temperature and all this thing. It was like really mentally torture.
Wow.
Then the guy next to me, because you cannot take it when people don't used to it. You're being locked in a small room for like 14 days straight.
Yeah.
The guy was next door to me, right? He was yelling every single day. He's like, let me out, like that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Stress. I myself stress. I mean, if let's say you look at it, if let's say you can switch on your phone, whatever, do the internet thing, I think it's fine. But the problem is that there was no Wi-Fi.
Oh, really?
There was no Wi-Fi. And the signal was so bad. I cannot even use my 4G, whatever. I can't. I try to do a video call. I can't. Right? That's the time that I was feeling super depressed. I'll lock in the room itself. I know nothing. I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
So one day, I tried to call my wife, right? So the signal was bad.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can recall until now is that when she talked to me, she was literally crying on the phone. I can see that the tears is falling down her face, right? And she was like, I just want you to be back home safely. So I think that was a time that I realized, right? So I kept asking myself questions like, how do I even get myself into such situations?
Yeah.
It wasn't a pleasant experience. So I keep asking myself, was it because of the COVID? Part of it, yes. COVID is probably one of the reasons, but it was not the real reason why I'm here. Then I asked again, was it because of the taxi driver who got contacted positive? A little bit, but it's really not the real reason. Then after that, I realized that it was only because of one thing. Because I don't earn my right to say no to things that I don't want in life. That's a thing. I don't have the right to say no to things I don't want in life, right? If you think about it, if I already have built up my own empire and all this thing, and I can tell my boss like, no, I don't want to go to that area because I'm concerned. If let's say the boss say, oh, you're an employee, right? If let's say you don't want to do it my way, you leave.
Yeah.
If I have what I have right now, I could just probably say, okay, then I might have to leave.
Yeah.
But it was because I don't have that, right? So after that, I made the decisions that right after I came out from the small room itself, I'm going to do something different. I want to build my own thing. I want to do, make a little bit more. And of course, build up my own empire. Yeah. So that's when the turning point happens and that's literally shift the whole thing. So. Yeah.
Wow. How long more did you stay after that with the
10
company?
days.
Probably less than a few months.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was applying for the next job while building up my business, right? I know a lot of people out there that they're saying something like, if let's say you want to make things happen, you gotta go all in, you gotta,
Yeah.
But I would prefer to have a safety net. I don't want to quit my job the next day, realize that I'm like
Okay.
not having the capability to feed myself or my family. That would be the last thing that I want. So I look for the new job, and then I'm still doing what I'm doing right now. They just keep building the empire. Lor.
Okay, we backtrack a bit. Like throughout that whole period when the Cisco guys bring you over and everything, they did not even tell you why you are being kind of like apprehended.
No, they just say that we received a notice from MOH saying that you are close contact with a positive guy, so you have to be quarantined. But they didn't tell you like where, when, for how long, where are you going to stay, who are you going to stay with. Never. Just say, I give you 20 minutes, pack your stuff, and we go.
Wow.
It's like even less than a vacation. Like even under business trip, my boss, my manager will still say, hey, 1 week's time, let's prepare for 1 week. 20 minutes, I cannot even fit in my luggage and have to go already. Super rush.
Wow, quite bad.
Well, what an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
think about this experience.
I mean, it's a good eye opener lah. Like at least you realize that I need to build something of my own for me to be able to have a say in what I want or I don't want to do. Because a lot of people actually do not have that realization.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's why I keep telling people, right? A lot of people are seeing COVID-19 as a disaster, right? For me, it's literally a turning point. Yeah.
Okay. Back to the just now you talked about safety net thing. You were working for a few more months to actually build a bit of a safety net, right?
Yes.
Can you share with us what was that safety net? Because like some people say you need like 3 months runway, you need 6 months runway, you need 1 year runway. You need to have like this amount to be able to last for this number of months. What was that for you?
I mean, most of the people would just say you have to have at least 3 months to 6 months saving, right?
Yeah.
For myself, like I say, I'm a little bit more kiasu and kiasi, right? So I save up probably like more than enough for me to last for 1 or maybe 1.5 years. Yeah,
okay.
because I don't spend a lot. Even until now, I still don't spend a lot. As long as it covers the basic fundamental needs, I think it's all good already.
Okay.
None of us like we have to, rent stay at a big house, own a nice car.
Yeah.
I don't really need that. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as I can do what I enjoy doing, spending time with my families, that's all I care. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people keep on saying that, right? But at the same time, we have interviewed a lot of business owners who actually really start from zero. Like they don't have, because like you say, it's about sometimes you need to face that pain or that inspiration before you make that leap, right? Most of the time, people face that pain, retrench and whatever, and they won't have that kind of safety net. So what would your best advice be for people who really do not have that safety net, maybe get terminated, and then need to think of how to perhaps start a business or build something that can allow them to actually have the money and the freedom to be living their life?
I think that's a good question, right? I still think that whether or not you like it, whether you like it or not, I would still suggest don't just quit your job until you have something to back you up. I mean, it's one thing to go all in to create something, but at the same time, you have to realize if let's say the moment you quit your job without having any backup plans or any backup, emergency fund and whatnot, right? You realize that you jump into any business venture, you will just stretch yourself up, right? Simply because some businesses, they take money to make more money, right? I know a lot of people out there. I've been there. I did that before, right? I was starting a business without any capital upfront. It's just that it's going to take you way longer time to achieve anything significant. Yeah. So I think bottom line, it's still get something to back you up first. If let's say you don't have something to back you up in terms of finance, of course, I would still say stay within a job itself. At least collect a significant amount of money to back you up before you start, jumping into any business venture. Yeah.
And if today your parents were to tell you, Joshua, you know that we've been living paycheck to paycheck, so I really don't have enough money. I don't want to use your money, but I would really want to start a business of my own. What would you advise them?
I mean, the easiest way right now is right. It's probably to just start selling something for literally anyone.
Okay.
Yeah. I think for a lot of business owners who are maybe listening to this podcast, right, they realize that a lot of them, they have good products, good services, but the problem is that they can't sell anything. Yeah. That's the biggest problem if you think about it. You could have the best product, best services in the world, but if let's say you don't convert, right, that means you really don't have a business. Right? You just have an expensive hobby, right? So I think the easiest way right now is just trying to get your skill out there. But of course, provided that you have to really have the skill, at least to sell something, to close a deal. Yeah, because I myself, I started it that way. After I came out from the small room for like 14 days, right? I came out and then I literally invested a couple of $1,000s just to learn about sales, closing, and business acumen. Because I know that if let's say you want to build a business, you cannot run away from sales. You cannot expect to hire someone else to close the deal for you for life. You can't do that, right? So I learned about sales. Then after that, I also realized that, you want to run a business, you better have some business acumen. You better have some business knowledge, right? You cannot just, a lot of people, they are over glorified. This is what I would love to tell myself all the time. People are over glorified about fail fast, learn fast. If let's say I got a way to skip all these mistakes, skip all this failure, why am I even bother to fail more?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'd rather take that saving and then I invested in course just to learn from people what kind of a mistake that I can avoid in order to, just fast track everything.
Learn from people's mistakes, in other words, right?
Yeah. I don't like to, for every mistake that you made, right, you have to pay a lot of a cost.
Yes.
Not just your money.
Time.
Your mental energy, I think that will cost
That's
way
true.
more than
Yeah.
that. Right.
And time.
Time, resources, efforts, and all this thing.
Yeah.
And the more mistake that you make, right? I don't know about the other person, right? It could be some people, I doubt there are such people there. Like, if let's say you fail more, then you're like, whoa, okay, this is the first time I fail. I'm like 99 more times failure before I hit that jackpot. People don't think that way. The more I fail, the more I'll doubt myself. You see, the first time I failed, I'm like, shit, probably I'm not the right fit for this thing, right? Then I say, okay, why not I try second time? Second time you fail again, you probably crash now already. Not a lot of people having that kind of mindset like, okay, two failure now, I'm like 98 fail ahead. Most people don't think that way. So I would rather, invest in mentor and whatnot, just trying to kind of like learn from their mistake. They paid for the price already. Why am I supposed to go through all this thing again?
There's a proven model that works, right?
Yeah.
I got one question, but I think we push it to part 2.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we have come this far, knowing your journey from the moment you are in Malacca until in Singapore and the upskilling that you actually get from learning the business acumen after 14 days of locking up. So I think thanks guys for watching in part 1. Let's uncover more with Joshua in part 2. See you. Bye-bye.